I bet you know someone like this. While most of us are maybe dropping hints about what we want for our birthday, they treat their big day like it's just any other Tuesday. No party, no cake, no fuss. It's actually pretty common, but have you ever stopped to wonder, what's really going on there? Turns out, there's some pretty fascinating psychology behind it.
Yeah, exactly. No party, no cake. Maybe they go completely silent on social media. Why would anyone just sidestep a day that's supposed to be all about them? Is it really just a simple preference, or, could there be something deeper at work? Well, let's get into it. All right, so the first big reason is something I think a lot of us can actually relate to, even if we love a good party. It's all about that social pressure. For some folks, the birthday spotlight feels less like a warm, fuzzy glow and a lot more like a harsh interrogation lamp.
I mean, just imagine it for a second. Your phone is blowing up. You're the center of attention at the office. Every single eye is on you. For many people, that doesn't feel like a gift. It feels overwhelming, awkward. It's like being forced onto a stage for a performance you never even signed up for.
And when you break it down like that, the feeling totally makes sense. The constant attention is just a lot. The well wishes can start to feel a little fake, and your social battery just tanks. So for some, skipping their birthday isn't about being sad or antisocial. It's really a form of emotional self-protection. It's just a way to guard their energy.
It really just boils down to a choice. I mean, what has more real value? Getting 200 generic HPD messages or having 2 deep, genuine conversations? It's a pretty clear preference for real, meaningful connection over what can feel like a totally scripted social performance.
But, it's not always about the outside world. Sometimes the biggest pressures are coming from inside. A birthday can stir up a whole bunch of anxieties that have absolutely nothing to do with other people.
And this is a big one. Another year older means, well, another year has passed. And for some, that's not a cause for celebration at all. It's a huge trigger for anxiety about aging, about mortality, and just about the fact that time is, running out.
The real problem here is that a birthday can start to feel less like a party and more like an annual performance review that you give yourself. It becomes this trigger for really intense self-evaluation. You start comparing where you are right now to where you thought you'd be. And if there's a big gap there between your reality and those goals, the day suddenly feels less like a celebration and more like a spotlight on what feels like failure. So what if the reason has even deeper roots? For many people, their feelings about birthdays were planted a long, long time ago. We're talking about past pains that are still quietly shaping how they feel in the present. Our relationship with birthdays, it often gets cemented in childhood. So if your birthdays were always forgotten or ignored, or maybe they were even a time of family conflict, your brain learns to connect that specific date with disappointment or pain. And over time, avoiding that day just becomes an automatic, unconscious habit in adulthood. And psychologically, there's a name for this. It's a coping mechanism. Skipping the day isn't a conscious choice to reject people. It's an unconscious strategy to avoid feeling that old pain again. It's basically your brain's defense system saying, hey, I felt this before and we are not doing that again.
But avoidance isn't always rooted in past pain. Sometimes it's about where you get your sense of value from. Think about it. Some of us really thrive on that external validation. The likes, the messages, the public shoutouts. Others rely on internal validation. They feel valued every day because of their own sense of self-worth. For them, a birthday isn't some necessary annual confirmation of their value. It's just another day.
So this brings us to the final, and I think maybe the most important distinction we have to make. When somebody skips their birthday, is it a sign of emotional maturity, or is it a symptom of withdrawal? Understanding the why behind the choice is everything. Is it coming from a place of strength, or is it coming from a place of pain? See, choosing simplicity because you're genuinely content and at peace, that's a sign of maturity. But avoiding the day because of loneliness or disappointment or feeling unworthy, well, that's withdrawal. In that case, you're not choosing quiet, you're avoiding hurt.
Ultimately, what this all tells us is that behavior is never random. There's always a reason hiding underneath. Whether it's social fatigue, anxiety about getting older, past trauma, or just quiet self-confidence, the choice to skip a birthday is never meaningless. And the goal shouldn't be to judge that choice, but to try and understand the why behind it.
So this kind of leaves us with a question to ponder. If you're someone who skips your birthday, what are you really avoiding? Is it just the fuss and bother of a celebration? Or is it something deeper? A feeling, a memory, maybe even a fear? In the end, understanding the why behind our own actions and the actions of the people we care about, that's what really matters. It doesn't matter if you celebrate with a huge bash or a quiet cup of tea. Knowing yourself, well, that's the best gift you can ever receive.